Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Tyler Merkovich with Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, bringing you Week 11 matchups that features an NFC East rivalry. It's the Washington Redskins coming off a big win at home against Denver, against the Dallas Cowboys, who are coming off a disappointing loss at Green Bay. They could have taken stranglehold of the NFC East lead. Instead, they're keeping Philly and the Giants in it. Washington gets a stunning win against Denver at home. What are your keys to victory for Washington, who had a lot of success on offense, putting up 27 points?
The reason why they were having some success because they were able to run the football, and that's what happens when you run the football. Teams can't get after you like they want to. They don't fear the pass, so they have to respect the run. So they have to run the football against Dallas. Green Bay was able to have some success running the football, not enough to where it was like, oh, Ryan Grant had a breakout game, but enough to keep Dallas honest to where they had to think before they rushed. So I like the fact that they have to run the football this week again with Best, because Porter's still having some lingering effects and may not play again this week, so they have to run the football too. Spread the wealth. They did that well last week. Fred Davis, great pass on the first drive. You also look at Devin Thomas, had some action as well. Randall got in the mix. So they have to continue to spread the ball on offense, because that Dallas secondary, Scandrick, number 32, had some problems. It seemed like every time he was in the game, Green Bay targeted him and threw at him. So I like matchup for matchup. I like the Redskins wide receivers versus the top four Dallas secondary personnel. So that's another matchup to watch. O-line has to protect. That is key. Dallas will pressure you until you fold. So that O-line has to protect this week. A repeat performance.
And that O-line has been abysmal up to that last game they played. Skins usually have pretty good success in Big D. You know, they come in as underdogs and they play well. Always keep the game closer or win it. What are your keys to victory for Dallas, who people are going to criticize Wade Phillips because your favorites against Green Bay, you know, it's a winnable game. It's really big because you could really step ahead of Philly and New York, and instead they don't. So the critics are going to come back, and there's going to be more pressure on Wade Phillips now. So it's all kind of caving in a little bit, even though they're still in first place. What are your keys to victory for the Cowboys?
Well, they're going to have to attack that secondary of the Redskins. You can't get some big plays against the Washington Redskins secondary, in particular D'Angelo Hall. He has some coverage issues.
And coming into the game, they're the #1 pass defense. But the first couple highlights you saw was Brandon Marshall breaking away for 50-plus yard receptions.
You already know pass defense has nothing to do with the secondary. Pass defense is all predicated on whether or not that front four can get pressure. So Dallas has to remember Witten is on his team. Don't forget Jason Witten. The big piece of that puzzle, Romo safety blanket, get Witten the ball down the middle of the field, make those linebackers have to make plays in coverage, because the Washington can have some success stopping the run. So Romo, again, is going to have to throw the win this week against the Redskins too. They're going to have to really not allow Washington to get balance. Washington had balance against Denver. That caused a problem. They played with confidence because they knocked out Orton. They can't allow Washington, one, to play with confidence coming in. Two, they're going to have to stop that run, because that's going to build their confidence. Third, you look at what the Cowboys on defense, they're going to have to protect Scandrick, because they're going to target Scandrick in the secondary. So Scandrick has to be moved around, make plays in the slot, make plays on the short side of the field, because if you give a lot of the receivers room to run against Scandrick, he's going to struggle, especially against guys like Moss and Randall and Devin Thomas, who's shown to be a good pick now, and they're going to have to play the entire field. I like Washington in this matchup. Washington can spread Dallas out in this game and attack them vertically. Even though Washington hadn't put together 2 solid games back-to-back, I think now, without Portis in the lineup, they're going to become more balanced, kind of force their hand to become balanced. I think Washington wins this game.
Well, Dallas had a bunch of injuries during that game. They're probably going to get a lot of the majority of the people back, except Mark Colombo, who pretty much, I think, broke his leg, which
that's a big piece
is too bad. But they're going to fix it. The offensive line's going to come together. You got to hold back Arakpo, hold back Hainsworth, and Dallas is going to come away with the victory. It might be 3 points. It might be 10 points. It might be 14 points. Dallas really needs this game at home, and I think they'll get to play a lot better. Too many injuries, and they don't ever have success in Lambeau. They're going to come back and have a pretty good game at home.
This can be a close game naturally because Washington has a pretty good defense.
Rivalry game here. For more, visit footballgameplan.com/NFL.